Bum 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 bum. The Peter Light Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. Without even really working hard at it, I just realized that I have not masturbated in over 3 weeks, if you can believe it. I started, I think, June 2nd. And the reason I know is that June 4th is Polish Idol Season 1 winner Elisa Genazzi, her birthday. She turned 40 years old this year. I fantasized about her way too much, and so I decided that her birthday would be a good time to start a nofap journey. I had already had 2 days under my belt at the time, and here we are 3 weeks later. And how do I feel about this? Well, I feel kind of disappointed because you got to understand how I got this 3 weeks, especially how I got it so effortlessly. I'm traveling here in Taiwan, and things are a lot easier here, right? The pace of life moves a whole lot slower. People at the hostel that I'm staying at aren't instantly combative, right? Over in the United States, had this been in Phoenix or in Las Vegas or New York or Los Angeles, a lot of times people jump to conclusion every time they get upset about something, right? Your roommate makes a lot of noise, you jump to conclusion instead of actually resolving the problem. And also just the lack of, I think Americans are the worst at not accepting diversity, now that I think about it. Over at the hostel, there's here in Taiwan, there's a lot more acceptance of all sorts of diversity, right? So I'm very introverted. It's very hard for me to hang in a group like that. And even then, people come chat with me one at a time, right? And that was really nice. That's definitely not something I could expect to experience in the United States, right? Or even in Europe, for that matter, right? A lot of times I'm just completely excluded there. And also, well, it might not be so true if you're from Taiwan, but the cost of living in Taiwan is a lot less. I could actually afford to eat out. And without the burdens of cooking my meals, without the burdens of commuting, right, we got really good public transportation, right? Without those burdens, it is so much easier for me to focus on my goals. And that makes me really disappointed that we have a culture that makes it. I mean, no fap is maybe it won't really kill anybody if somebody doesn't quit masturbating, but there are a lot of bad habits that people need to quit or die, right? And the societal substrate makes it very difficult to focus, and that can kill people, in my opinion. I think part of the reason that so the United States used to have one of the lower smoking rates in the world, but now it's the highest because our quit rate is so low compared to other countries around the world, right? And why? In large part because people don't have the mental capacity, the bandwidth, and the time commitment to quit, right? I think I read somewhere that somebody, I don't know, it was a discussion board of some sort. Oh, I can't afford to quit smoking. Seriously, you can't afford to burn what, hundreds of dollars every month. It really goes to, I really despise when people say that. At least be a little bit more specific, right? I'm too burdened with my job. I'm too burdened with commuting to quit, right? If you say it that way, at least we can have a solution to it, right? Um, but that's what it is, right? And so I feel that as long as I had a lower burden of life, I feel I could just never masturbate. I really do. I really do. And I really feel a lot of addictions: nicotine, drug, opioid addiction, gambling addiction. I bet a lot of that would disappear. People weren't so burdened every day with the cost of living, and also the red tape of living, right? The commuting, the fact that people are so sensitive, right? The fact that you can't go through a whole week at work without somebody writing to HR about you about something stupid, right? About the fact that they don't like the color of your clothes or what you talked about in the break room. You can't go a week without somebody complaining about that at any job, right? And I think that contributes to a lot of noise that prevents people from being where they are in terms of their health goals, in terms of them meeting the right person in their life to settle down with, in terms of uh, well, the U.S. has the lowest life expectancy in the developed world, right? I think all of that contributes to that as well, right? In terms of uh, or we have the highest in the U.S. We have one of the highest incarceration rates around the world. I think the burden of life contributes to that as well, right? Anyway, I'm so pleased that I've got. Normally, this 3 weeks is very hard for me. This time, I did it like completely effort. I didn't even think very hard about it. Yeah, there were times when I had urges, but they quickly gave way to, I want to go to my favorite restaurant. Let's go sightseeing. They quickly gave way to that, right? This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.